Hey English 1102 friends, this is a video going over two poems from the Conflict and Combat module. This video is going to cover the very short poem Death of the Ball Turret Gunner by Randall Jarrell, one of the most famous World War II poems in American literature, just a super famous poem. And then also What Every Soldier Should Know by Brian Turner, which has become a relatively famous poem about the much more recent Iraq and Afghanistan conflict that the United States was involved in after September 11th, the war on terrorism. So we'll start with Death of the Ball Turret Gunner, which is a really short poem. It is about World War II and about this particular job in World War II, which is being a ball turret gunner. This isn't a job you can have anymore because the ball turret gunner was a gunner on a plane, and planes just aren't made like this anymore. If you don't know what a ball turret or a ball turret gunner is, you can see there is a ball turret on a World War II combat plane, and then here's a mechanic and then a gunner. This guy would be the ball turret gunner. You can see the gun on the back of in the very back to the left of the picture. This guy's in a ball turret. Here's another picture, and this picture may help you. Here's these two guys sitting on either side, including one guy opening the hatch, and then you can see the guy inside the ball turret, and then the gun sticking out of this side. This is a really dangerous job for several reasons. One is that you were running the guns on the plane. So if you met an enemy aircraft and you started shooting at them and they started shooting at you, they're shooting at you because they're trying to take out the guns on the other plane. That's the first reason it's dangerous, is they're probably trying to take you out because you're the thing shooting at them. The other reason is because, as you can see, most of the airplane is metal, but the ball turret is like 50-50 glass. There's a lot of glass, so you don't get the protection of metal to keep you away from, bullets and stuff like that coming at you. So it's a super dangerous job. And ball turret gunners often got seriously injured or killed, which you get in this poem. And as you can see right here, here's a ball turret. Right there, you can see the ball turret right there that has been shot up and destroyed, very similar to what happens in this poem. Death of the Ball Turret Gunner. From my mother's sleep, I fell into the state. So the sleep is the sort of, they're just up in the air flying, things were calm, things were peaceful, and then they fall into the state of war. They meet an enemy, they start shooting at each other, the state of combat, the state of conflict. I hunched in its belly. Well, that's obvious. You can see how the ball turret on an airplane looks like the sort of belly of the plane. The guy's hunched up in there to run the gun. Hunched in its belly till my wet fur froze. The wet fur froze is a reference to the World War II flight jackets that were those like heavy leather jackets that were lined with fur to keep you warm up in the air. So you get this image of the guy hunched up in there in his flight jacket in the cold because they're so high up in the air, kind of hunched up, curled up in the belly of the plane. 6 miles from Earth, that's obvious, they're up in the air. Loosed from its dream of life, that sense that like things work differently up in the air. I woke to black flak. If you don't know what flak is, that's like bullets and shrapnel, and flak is this catch-all word for like pieces that are coming at you that might hurt you, stuff the enemy is throwing at you. And the nightmare fighters. And then the last line, when I died, they washed me out of the turret with a hose. So the guy doesn't survive the battle. In fact, he gets blown apart, much like what you see in this picture, so that there's like not enough left of him to take out. They just have to wash him out with a pressure hose, like a pressure washer, a steam hose. So you get this very violent, this poem's really short but really vivid and violent because of that like violent death that you get in that last sentence. That's why this is one of the most famous poems of World War II, because of this intense violent imagery that you get, this really dangerous job that then culminates with this person dying in this very violent way. So that's Death of the Ball Turret Gunner by Randall Jarrell. The other poem the reason I put these two poems together, What Every Soldier Should Know by Brian Turner, is you get some of that same intense, violent imagery in this sort of sense of dread, this sense of impending violence or danger at every corner, that you're involved in this dangerous, you might get seriously injured or killed at any moment feeling from both of these poems. This poem has what's called an epigraph, like a quote at the beginning. To yield to force is an act of necessity, not of will. It is at best an act of prudence. This is a poem about prudence and about trying to stay, like what every soldier should know to stay safe when you're in Iraq or Afghanistan or in the middle, you know, an American soldier in the Middle East. To be prudent, to be careful. If you hear gunfire on a Thursday afternoon, it could be for a wedding or it could be for you. In the Middle East has hung on to this old tradition that we have sort of mostly replaced with fireworks in this country of at like weddings and celebrations. They often shoot off guns. That tradition sort of has hung on in the Middle East in a way that it is really not in America. And he's pointing that out. Like he's saying, you could hear gunfire and it could just be somebody getting married in the celebration, or it could be somebody, you know, shooting at you to kill you. Like there's this uncertainty, this sort of anxiety. Always enter a home with your right foot. The left is for cemeteries and unclean places. This sort of local custom, local tradition that it's helpful to know. O goof terra armique is rarely useful. It means stop or I'll shoot. What he's saying is you're rarely going to see somebody coming at you directly that you can then just say stop or I'll shoot. Because instead what you're going to get is people sort of hiding and being secret about what they're doing and sneaking around and hiding bombs and stuff like that. What he's getting at right here is you're rarely going to see the threat coming at you head on with warning. Sabah el Khair is effective. It means good morning. Something that you're going to say a lot more often, a lot more commonly is just good morning to people. Inshallah means Allah be willing. Listen well when it is spoken. If you don't know, that's a common phrase used by suicide bombers right before they blow themselves up, is inshallah. You will hear the RPG coming for you, not so the roadside bomb. You know, some stuff like incoming shells, you're going to hear whistling and coming for you. Roadside bombs, they're just going to blow up with no warning. So some stuff you'll have a little warning. Other stuff, you know, if you're lucky, it'll miss you. If you're unlucky, it'll get you. This like anxiety and uncertainty of being in this combat situation, being in this war zone. There are bombs under the overpasses and trash piles and bricks and cars. There are shopping carts with clothes soaked in food gas, a sticky gel of homemade napalm. You get all these images of these dangerous things that are just here and there and willy-nilly everywhere. That, you know, all these dangers that might get you, that you just have to. However careful you can be that careful, but there's also just random stuff hidden that might get you. Parachute bombs and artillery shells sewn into the carcasses of dead farm animals. So like you might just see a dead animal on the side of the road and it's got a bomb inside it. Graffiti sprayed onto the overpasses. I will kill you, American. Men wearing vests rigged with explosives walk up, raise their arms and say inshallah. Again, suicide bombers is one of the ways that one of the dangers. There are men who earn $80 to attack you, $5,000 to kill. Small children who will play with you. Old men with their talk. Women who offer chai, tea-like drink. And any one of them may dance over your body tomorrow. That last line, the locals, they're relatively safe. You know, they know what's going on. They know the local customs. They're living in their homeland. You're the sort of outsider. And that they'll probably still be there tomorrow, even if one of these dangers gets you and kills you. So what this poem is really about is this sort of anxiety of all the different dangers, and some of them you'll have some warning, but many of them you don't, and all you can do is be as prudent, as careful as you can. But no matter how prudent and careful you are, there's all these secret dangers that might get you, like a roadside bomb or a suicide bomb or something like that. And that's really what this poem is about part of the condition of being in the war on terror and being in Iraq or Afghanistan, which for us has been going on for us basically 20 years now, is this constant anxiety of all the little things and hidden dangers that might get you. And you get to go back to the title of this poem, every soldier should know there's all these hidden dangers that might get you. So in both of these poems, you get that sort of anxiety and danger and all this violent imagery of the ways people get hurt and get killed. So that you can see that kind of ties them together, even though they're like 60 plus years apart in terms of the wars that they're talking about. Hope that helps you understand what every soldier should know. and Death of the Ball Turret Gunner. If you got questions, be in touch. Otherwise, thanks.